Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Chow with Lat, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. It's going to be a bit of a voyage of discovery because what we're doing today is exploring vegan and vegetarian options when it comes to replacing meat in my recipes. A lot of you guys have been asking me about this, so I thought, okay, let's do it. I'm very curious about this and I want to know if the vegetarian or vegan options can really hold a candle to meat, because we're so used to using meat in our recipes. Anything that gets close to meat is going to be a win-win situation, I believe. So without further ado, let's get on with it. So in the red corner, we have good old minced beef. Okay, everybody knows what this is like. We use it in our bolognese, we use it in shepherd's pie, etc, etc. It's always fairly reasonably priced, but it is obviously made from cows. In the blue corner, or maybe the green corner, we have Quorn. The reason why I've picked Quorn is because it's readily available. It's actually reasonably priced now. I think the last time I actually cooked with it, which is a long time ago, I found it pricey, but we're going to see how we get on. Apparently this is made from fungi stroke mold. So for today's test, we're going to be making chili beef lettuce wraps, which will be quite a fair and even test because that's something you would use minced beef in, and the Quorn mince is the closest we can come to that, which is ideal. So for each recipe you're going to need 2 cloves of garlic finely sliced, an inch of ginger peeled and finely sliced, one fresh chilli, finely sliced. We're going to need half an onion, finely sliced. And of course your lettuce. I am using romaine lettuce. You can use whatever lettuce you like, iceberg, gem, anything like that. What we're looking for is something that's crisp and will hold its shape when you put the warm filling in it. You don't want something that's just going to really be soft and just kind of flop around and have your filling flopping all over the place onto the floor. Right guys, so here we have our products. We have the minced beef here, which is obviously recognizable, and our minced corn here. Both of these are 300 grams a piece. It's going to be interesting to see how they cook. This one being made out of what they term on the pack as fungi and mold. It's going to be really interesting in how that actually cooks out. The difference between the two in terms of cooking is the fact that I'm going to brown the mince as you would do for most dishes you use minced beef for, but on the packet it recommends just popping it straight into the sauce and cooking it that way. You can cook it straight from frozen, you don't have to defrost it, but it doesn't say you brown it first, which I guess is probably only natural because it isn't meat. We've got to remember that. So I'd like to see how the texture holds up for the corn especially. So let's get into it guys, let's get cooking. Get your woks ready. Right everyone, what I'm going to do now is we're going to start with the beef. So I've got the wok on quite a high heat. We're going to do what we normally do with minced beef, and that is brown it off. So I'm going to break it up with my fingers and put it into a hot pan. There's about a tablespoon of cooking oil in there. Now what we're trying to do is not disturb the meat as much as we can. That makes it easier for it to caramelize. If we start pushing it around and disturbing it too much, it's going to start releasing a lot of water. And we don't want that because then we'll just be drowned in juices. It's going to give off some liquid, but we don't want to get too much because otherwise it's going to steam rather than frying, and that's not something we really want at all. So we're going to leave that for 30 seconds or so, maybe a minute. Don't be afraid, let it brown, let it crispen up a little bit. Because what we want from this meat is for it to go a little bit crispy. And now we can start thinking about turning it over. Look, can you see the little crispy bits forming? That's exactly what we want. At this stage we can add a pinch of salt. And a grind of black pepper. Okay, I'm going to switch this off. And I'm going to pop this down here. I'm going to take the meat out and set it to one side. Okay, because the next thing we're going to do is to make our sauce. So a slightly lower temperature this time. Put a little bit of oil in. And we're going to add our garlic, some onion, ginger, and of course our chili. Wouldn't be a chili beef without the chili. Right. This is where it gets pungent, guys. Make sure your extractor fan is on. I'd say we're about there. I'm going to push it to one side so it doesn't burn. Okay, and now we're going to make up our sauce. I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of ketchup. Love that sound. 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 2 tablespoons of brown sauce, about a teaspoon of sesame oil. That will give it a lovely smoky sesame flavour, and about a tablespoon of sugar. Honey or syrup would also do very nicely too. Okay, and let's incorporate this all together. If it gets a little bit too thick, add a touch of water. There you go. And this is a very similar sauce to the one I make for my crispy chili beef. It's quite a sticky, unctuous, spicy sauce. I'm going to recombine that with my beef. I'm going to pop the heat up again, and we're just going to mix it all up. Look at that. Now it's starting to look right. So it's going to be spicy, it's going to be sweet, it's going to be tangy. Everything you want from a sweet chili spicy beef. And that's going to be contrasted by the freshness of the lettuce. It's going to be wonderful. Okay, and guys, that is it. Switch it off. Right guys, on to the Quorn recipe. This is going to be slightly different from the minced beef recipe because the packet says that you don't brown it, you stick it straight into the sauce. Now I actually tried to brown it earlier today just to see what it would be like, and they're probably right, because what happens is it goes completely dry and all the texture leaves it. It's like eating bits of dry biscuit, which I don't think is what we want. So I'm going to try it. I haven't done it yet. I'm going to try it making the sauce and then incorporating it into the sauce and seeing how we go from there, because I don't want to do him an injustice. I thought I'd try it just to see if there was a better way, but apparently not. Right, let's have a go. I'm going to pop all this in and see what happens. Wow, seems quite a lot. Interestingly, as I thought it might do, it's actually absorbing a lot of the sauce. So what I'm going to do, I've made up another batch of the sauce, and also I think I forgot to put the sesame oil in last time, so it's there now. Lucky coincidence. We're going to put that in. Add a touch more sugar and give it a wee stir. It's all popping out. Put back in. Okay, give it a good stir in. That's better. Starting to moisten up a little bit. Going to add a little bit more water. So this is very unknown territory for me. I have no idea what's going to happen. So the idea is to keep heating it until it's hot. Obviously, not being meat, we're not so worried apparently about cooking it through as such. Although I am going to, whatever that means for this. It seems to be just starting to lose its texture a little bit. So I think I'm going to call it quits there. Right. There you go, guys. Right, my little chow of flowers. This is something I say a lot, but I really mean it this time. This is the moment of truth. Okay, right. So I'm going to start off with the beef, the actual beef, because, yeah, because we need something to compare it with, right? And that is exactly how you'd expect it to taste. It's meaty. It has that distinct taste of beef. It complements the sauce and everything goes well with it. I cook this sort of thing all the time. No surprises there. So this is setting the standard. The sauce is really nice actually. It's a little bit sharp, a little bit sweet, chili, the garlic and all those undertones, really, really nice. So I'm going to try some in a bit of lettuce. Let's see, might as well do the proper test. So I'm going to wrap it all up like so. This is more or less bite size for me. Here we go. That is good. If you serve this up to me at a dinner party, I would not be unhappy. That is nice. So to the challenger, the Quorn. Okay, gotta say this doesn't look as appealing. It has absorbed all the sauce to the point now where it's kind of gone a bit kind of mush, whereas the beef, the sauce is coating it. This has absorbed it all. It almost looks like a bolognese, slightly dry bolognese at that. Let's have a go. It's not unpleasant, but it is, the texture is a lot more mushy. And because the sauce is absorbed into it, it's kind of been diluted. So although the flavours are there, they seem a little bit watered down. I guess it tastes like mince when you've not browned it properly. You know, if you ever do that for a bolognese and you haven't browned it properly, it kind of goes a little bit like this. Let's wrap it up into a bite-sized piece again. Here we go. The flavours don't come through quite as well. And again, the texture isn't quite what I'd expect or hope it to be. Having said all that, it's not bad, okay? And if I was vegetarian or vegan, I think I'd be pretty happy with it, to be fair. So it's a step in the right direction. And also, it's only one product. There are lots and lots of different meat-free products out there. Hopefully, if you enjoy this video, I'm going to try lots and lots and lots in different variations of meals. I'm going to put them into real-world practice. I am going to compare them directly to other dishes and see what happens. This is just a start. This is the obvious one to go to because it's the one you'll find in any supermarket. But I've seen some other ones. I've had people recommend other meat-free products that I am going to try. I'm going to order them in and I'm going to try them out and see what happens. But I've got to say, it's not bad. It's not the same. And perhaps, it's just come to me, you know, if I had actually browned it and got it to that bit where it was possibly a little bit too crispy, if I'd have tried that and then recombined it with the sauce, maybe the sauce would have, you know, added more moisture to it and it might have been a little bit more like the beef we have here. I don't know. I am going to try. I'll try to update you guys and see what happens. I'll go and get some more Quorn and I'll try that again. Don't forget, I did what was said on the packet, which what I think is important because most people are going to treat it exactly how you would on the instructions, because there wouldn't be any instructions on it if they didn't know their own product. So, but then rules are meant to be broken. When I saw that, I thought, it sounds like it would go to mush. So that's why I experimented in making it crispy to see if it would hold it. So I will try that. As it stands, the beef wins by a TKO. But the Quorn put up a fight. I'm kind of hopeful. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't a disaster. It wasn't quite what I wanted. But this, again, is just the first product. So watch this space. I am going to do some more. Well, hopefully you've liked this. Hopefully you've learned something. I definitely have learned some things from this. And I'm even more curious now as to see where we can progress and how good it can get. So please, if you like this video, give us a subscribe, comment, give me some suggestions, give me your thoughts and feelings about this whole thing. I'd be really interested to know how you guys feel about it. I am really motivated now. This is set a fire underneath me. I really want to go for it and see what happens. I'm going to try this hopefully on a really regular basis, and because there are quite a lot of products out there, I think we can keep going to see what products are best. I mean, it never occurred to me that I would be testing products like this, but why not? I think it's hopefully something that you'll get value out of, and I'm certainly wanting to see, because I think I'd like to incorporate more vegan stuff into my own diet if possible. So watch this space, guys. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and thank you again for watching. I really, really value your support, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.